Hello, just ahead of the video a quick explanation. So, Happy New Year first. It's the beginning of 2025, and at the beginning of this year I went through my computer. I was deleting some videos and some photos I wasn't needing anymore, and I stumbled upon this footage. Now, a couple of months ago, I crashed a hard drive, and I thought I had lost this specific footage about me building a liquor cabinet. But it turns out I still had it on my computer someplace, and it wasn't quite finished. So I've been using the cabinet. I emptied it out, and I'm gonna fill it on camera now. So this is the video. I already have it cut together, just need a few pickups here and there, and I notice it's a long one, so I hope you'll bear with me with this long video. It's probably going to be the longest I have, and with that having said, have fun with the video. Hi, welcome to another video. We're in my shop. And this is going to be another homesteading video, and this is going to be a big one. So not a big one in terms of size, but a big one in terms of complexity. So let me explain. A couple of years back, when my wife and I got married, this marriage was in the medieval style, so we have all sorts of decorations, and we had the people decorate or dress up as medieval people. We were ourselves dressed up in a medieval style, and at the time we had a guest table. We also had the place decorated. We had a guest table, and that was this. We just picked up a wine barrel or a whiskey barrel. I don't know what this is. It's just a unlabeled barrel, and we made I made a table out of it with a guest book where everyone could just write into. So ever since we decorated, I decorated our living room here in tribute to our marriage, but I never really knew what to do with this barrel. So this has been sitting in the shop here for a couple of years, and yeah, I just didn't know what to do with it. It's good to just put it outside since it's wood. It'll deteriorate. So I let it sit here, and yeah. Then let's make a skip to recently, a couple of weeks ago. You also know, on an overnighter, I occasionally like a magic potion, my adult beverage. And well, if you ever wondered what that was, that's very secret recipes, and the magic potion. There's actually a couple of magic potions. They're all from Scotland. They're all from the Highlands. So you might have a hunch what I'm drinking. So I do have a couple of these, and I keep them in a cabinet. And I said to myself, well, I want to present this better. I want to have a cupboard for that, for just my magic potion. So I kind of looked around, and since my living room's is decorated also a little bit rustic, so I looked around, and I stumbled upon a couple of videos from bar cabinets made out of these barrels, and I thought, hey, cool, I want to buy one of those. So I looked, and actually I found some. But then I noticed, hey, you got a barrel sitting in the shop, and why not try and make this yourself? I enjoy building, so let's try this. So This is the video. You're gonna see me do this or fail. No, actually you're not gonna see me fail, since this is gonna work out. I'm pretty confident, because if I fail, I'm just not gonna upload this footage, so you won't get to see it anyway, so probably it'll work out. Yeah. So I checked a couple of videos on YouTube. By far, this is not my idea. This is something that has been done many times before. But I did have an issue with the hinges, because you might say, well, it's just a cabinet, so what's so complex about that? Well, because the barrel is round at the sides, I did have an issue with the hinges, because in the drawings or plans I had found in the internet, there's only a single hinge in the center where the barrel's the widest, and all the DIYs I saw on YouTube, they have two hinges, and I think that looks way better. So I picked, and I want to have a special shout out to the channel Leaf and Knot, because he has one of the recent videos I've watched put out, and I figured, well, if I ask a question, I'm probably very likely to get an answer on that side. So, and that worked out. I asked something, but we'll get to that later. But I asked him something about the hinges, and thanks a lot. I got a response. So thank you very much for that. And I'm gonna talk you through that thing when we get to that part. So let's do this. So the first thing I built this off camera, is this, you know, just this rig to hold the barrel when I'm working on the sides of it, so it won't tumble over. And the first thing I'm going to do is, well, actually later on I might color this or stain this, but I think it looks okay for a cabinet, for my rustic look I'm looking for. First thing I want to do is drill holes in every stave going up from bottom to, no, from top to bottom, and I want to drill holes in there, pre-drill holes, because I got some screws and I have to fixate every intersection between the wood and the band here holding this. So as you can see right here, this has been loose, and I banged it down, and since the barrel's been sitting in the shop for a couple of years, I think it dries out all the way, it shrinks a little bit, and that's why this goes down, went down that much. So I might actually push it back in that direction a bit. So now I have to mark the center of this band with the center of the connecting wood, or it's not connecting yet, but center with the wood. I'll mark that, then I'll center punch it, and then I'm going to drill a hole in it. I'm just going to do this for 1 or 2 staves. I'm going to do the rest off camera, but you gotta see how far each stave is, see how wide each stave is, and I can already tell you they're all different sizes. So yeah, find the center of that, find the center of the metal, and that's right there. I got this spring load center punch, so I'll just put it here and push it down and it's center punched. Also, I got a couple of drill bits because I'm probably gonna break a few, and this is metal, so in order to prevent me when I go through the metal that I go into the wood as far as or too far, I have these little stopper things. They slide on here and then I tighten them so I can just go as far as I need to. So I got this on here, but I'm not sure if that really works that well, since when I turn it on it wobbles quite a lot, and I don't know if that's a good thing. So at the moment I'm pretty skeptical if this works. Another way to prevent it from sliding in, just as a marker, is you could also put some tape on here and then just be very careful when you're through the metal. Yeah, well, it works, but I don't like that. It wobbles around quite a lot. I'm gonna use it, but I would not recommend for you to get something like this. That really, it's not that nice. No, this thing doesn't work that good. So, lesson learned. Please learn from my mistakes. That thing is just not worth it. There you go. That works just as well. At least the spring center punch is a nice thing. So, excuse me, I got a lot of center punching and marking and drilling to do. So, a couple of bands all the way around. So I'm gonna get you back when I'm done. Okay, I'm done. And as you can see, I already got the screws in every hole, but we're gonna come to that in a minute. Let's first talk about some learnings I had. So actually the staves going from top to bottom, they vary in size very strongly. I guess that is due to the fact that this is handmade. So you have small staves, wider staves, and that kind of prevented me from. No, I could have done that, but I didn't go on measuring each place I wanted to center punch. I just kind of guessed the middle. So if the beams sometimes it's a little bit off center here in the beams, but hey, that's just the way it is. So measuring it out and centering it was absolutely not necessary. What worked out very fine was the center punch, because at times you put in the drill and you kind of slip and it dances around. So the spring load center punch was a very helpful thing to have. Now I center punched it, I drilled the holes, I put the screws in, but at the bottom and at the top, I sheared off the head of one screw, just put another hole next to it. I guess I'll have to somehow fill it later on. But with a second screw, I kind of noticed it was really having a tough time going into the hole, and so that might have been a coincidence, but I guess the shape of the barrel and the curvature. So I guess the wood is compressed a little bit more at the top and the bottom, so the wood fibers are a little bit more dense, and that's why it was so difficult to put the screws in. So on the bottom and on the top, I ended up pre-drilling the holes a bit, so the screw doesn't have to move away that much material. So with the screw, I just, there's a hole where you usually fill the barrel, and I use that to check the thickness of the barrel, and then I decided on what screw length I need, and yeah, I put them all in. So this is oh, sun's coming out. So this is probably the step which has a lot of work in it, but we're done. Took me about 2 days. Could have done it in one, but last time when I filmed out here, it started raining. Had to move everything into the shop, and I did it in there. I worked in there. So the next thing I did when I had the screws in is I marked where the doors will go. I want to have 2 doors, not a single one, but 2 doors, and I marked that right here. I'm going to show you a close-up in a minute. And well, because these staves are all different sizes, I picked a place where 2 staves butt up against another, and since they're all different sizes, the one door is slightly wider than the other, but I'm just going to go with that. It's about that much. So the next step is to cut the bands where I want the doors to be, and even though nothing's going to happen, I got them all screwed down so it's not going to pop open or anything. Still, this feels like I don't know, this still feels like a step where a lot of things can go wrong. However, it has to be done, so yeah, I marked it, and here we go. Okay, so far so good. We're just gonna have to do the other things. There we go. There we go. Now this is a make it or break it moment, huh? Okay, now that that's cut, I'm gonna mark the whole space where the doors are gonna go. So I have to decide how far down the doors go and how far up. So I decided just to cut the 2 middle bands here and leave the top 2 bands undamaged, kind of hoping that gives it some stability. And to trace it, I'm just going to use this square I have here, because that kind of goes on the curvature. So now I have to decide on how much space I'm going to give it on the top and the bottom. Like I said, I I kept the bands on top and on bottom, and so I want to keep it symmetrical. I don't know. See, just gonna measure it out quickly, and then I'm gonna have to start thinking how to cut initially, first time into here. So on the videos I saw on YouTube, there are a lot of things. The first video, he actually did it with a chainsaw. Well, I don't have a chainsaw, and in my mind that's way too jagged. But I've also seen people do this with a hand saw, which I'm not going to do. With a circular saw, but I do have a circular saw, but I don't want to do that. I think I'm gonna go for a jigsaw. I just have to think how I initially get in here to the so I can fit the jigsaw blade in here. So I want to address the topic of the hinges again. First of all, thanks a million and a huge shout out to the channel Leaf a Knot. I asked a question there, and he answered it. He also had this in the video, but still had a question, got an answer. Thanks a lot. That helped really much. So this is standard hinge, right? I'm not going to use this one, but just for demonstration purposes. So when it's opened, it's straight, right? And many plans I had in the internet, they just had one single hinge at the widest point of the barrel, because it'll open up like that and it'll be square to the widest point. Now actually I thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool just to use these hinges on top of the bands? And I seen plans that realize that, and they just put it in like that, but I don't like that. Actually, I like it flush on the top, but that poses a problem. See, when you open up the hinge, and I put the square on here, there's no gap down here, but here on top, there's quite a gap. I don't know if that shows on the camera, but in general, that means that this hinge on that side is pulling in that direction. It's pulling up, while the hinge on that side is pulling in that direction. So they're pulling away from one another, and that leads to the hinges not opening, right? So it might work if they're flush, but as soon as you try to open them, they pull to opposite sides. So two things. In general, a lot of people just say, okay, just use it here, right? Put that aside. Just use the hinge here, and it'll have enough clearing from side to side to handle this. I might do that. Actually, I do like having the hinges on the band, but I can only do that if I not use this slightly tilted band, but if I wedge it up and make it straight. That solves one problem. The hinge will open in the right way, and I'll tilt it, but there's still a bulge here, so I'm not quite sure what to do. Gotta think of that. I think I can wedge this, but I think it may not solve my problem. Now, I think I'm gonna go for this having two of them close, and even then I might wedge this side up a bit. So that's just a few thoughts. So like I said, I did not want to use a handsaw, but I'm just using this to try and get in there and get a slit in there so I can put my jigsaw blade in there, because to be honest, right now I don't know any better way to just, you know, have a little slit to put the jigsaw blade in. So I'm gonna try this. Well, actually that works quite well. Better than I expected. So plans change, and after I got in here like that, this turned out to be a really easy way to cut it open. So I did use a Japan saw, however. These have very fine teeth here, and yeah, this worked out pretty well. So I'm gonna do this as well. The only thing you have to watch out for is that you don't wiggle around too much. But if you look out for that, it actually works out pretty well. It's with everything in life, huh? You gotta try and do your best to be as precise as you can, and then it'll work out. So, moment of truth, at least for one side of the door. Now I cut this side. I did not cut it lengthwise, since I don't know, if they're not glued to another, I guess they butt up, and if I got the correct space, this should work out. Okay, gotta confess, I'm a little bit nervous. Oh man. Oh yes. Hey, cool. Would you look at that? I just gotta figure out the hinges now. Oh, this is cool. Oh man. Now, would you look at that? That is a very nice opening. So it's red from the inside. Now, I'm not a wine expert, but does that mean they stored red wine in here? It smells kind of winey. So, I guess. Right, so what I also did, I'm not sure if I'm going to be needing that, but I marked this side of the door and this bottom side with 1, 2, 3, 4. So I won't get the sides mixed up, and since it's symmetrical, I'll have it the right way around. Don't know if that's important, but kind of felt like I might need that later on. So now that I got the doors cut out, I got to get some hinges, and then the real challenge starts. Oh well. Cutting out worked better than I thought. Maybe I'm overthinking the hinges too. I have a habit of thinking too much sometimes. I'm an engineer, and over-engineering and overthinking is kind of in the name. Let's see. So I got my 4 hinges. They were black, and in order to adjust them to the curvature of the barrel, I carefully clamped them in with some protection on either side, and then I pounded them ever so slightly with this rubber mallet, and this is the curvature I came up with. And been clamping it in, fitting it, clamping it in, so I'm kind of eyeballing that. And but I've been test fitting this, and this seems to work perfectly. So let's put in the hinges. Yeah, so I'm inside now. So I put the barrel where I wanted to be at later on, and you can see I already have 3 hinges attached, and now I'm going to attach the last one. And a little spoiler, this really works out good. Can't open it all the way, but it's good enough to access the inside of the cabinet. So I got the holes pre-drilled, and yeah, I'm gonna screw it in here, and those were the hinges then. Okay, so the hinges are in, and this is just about as far as it opens. It kind of gets hard here, but it's enough to access the inside. So it doesn't have to go all the way. That'll put much strain on the hinges, and I don't want that. So this works. I also, let me get you here. So, just to add a bit stability, I also put in these beams here in a diagonal, so that'll help keep some stability. But all in all, it's pretty nice. I like that. So the next thing I'm going to do, I got this locking mechanism here, and I'm going to attach it here so you can close it and open it. Okay, so because if the barrel's sitting on the floor, I don't want to scratch, have it scratch my floor, and so I turned it upside down and put it on a rug right now. And I came up with something. There's a recess here on the top and on the bottom, and so I got 3 of these wheels, and I measured the recess I had, and these wheels just slightly pop out because having them here would really look shabby. So I thought, having them here, you can't see through the space of it sitting on the floor. Show you in a minute. So the wheels slightly go over this recess, and I'm going to put them in. And then we'll turn the barrel around again and see if my idea works. And then I'm gonna go step first. And yeah, it's nice. You can't see here, but it smoothly slide here. So yeah, I like that. So now that that's done, we're going to take care of the inside of the cabinet. In my mind, that's a much easier task. So if we open it up, I'm thinking of putting a turntable here, and actually a bottle is going to, I don't know, reach about that high. And then I also have the space for a second level. So I want to put a turntable in here, and then kind of build up 2 levels to put the bottoms. And I already got this turntable. You can see here. It's a heavy duty turntable, since I thought, well, if you have all the bottles with liquid here and on top again, that'll be quite some weight. So that's a heavy duty turntable. And on top I already put a cross, and on here the round first level will be, and the second level. So let's put this in. So I marked out the middle right here and pre-drilled the holes, and now we're just gonna have to align them and put them in. And if I measured correctly, that will work. Okay, now for the platforms. So the turntable's in, so I have to put a platform here, and this is what I came up with. It's a circle, and it has 3 supports, and then the second level goes on top there. Now I just have to see if I can get this inside here. Maybe a bit fiddly, but it should work actually. I kind of fiddle it inside, then I have to fasten it in a way that I don't, while turning, bump on the sides, so it'll have free clearing on all sides of the circle. So let's do that. All right. Okay. There we go. Like I said, a bit fiddly, but it fits. Now I have to, you hear that? It scratches on the side, so I'll have to align that so it doesn't scratch. Yeah. So now that this is in and aligned so it won't scratch the side, I'm going to be putting in the second level. As you can see, I have not stained this. I've stained that, but I haven't stained this. Maybe do that later on. But for now, I want to have this finished. Oh, that's nice. There you go. So, and as you can see here, it doesn't scratch. So I can put it in, I guess. So now, fast forward 1.5 years till now. I emptied out the cabinet because I want to refill it on camera, and you can see, even though I've used this cabinet for the better part of 1.5 years, I still haven't stained this. So yeah, it's just, you know, it looks good from the outside. I open it up, I get a drink, I close it again. It doesn't have to be very fancy on the inside. To me, it doesn't anyway. If you like to do that, go ahead. There are plenty of videos show you how to do that. And yeah, I'm just gonna fill it. Also, I think I should say, I'm just gonna fill, I don't have that much of my magic potion. It's just about probably enough to fill the front third of the bottom half here. On the top side facing front, I'm gonna put the meads because of the honey wines, because of the medieval style we like. Sometimes we like to drink a honey wine. I'm more the whiskey type of guy since it's not that sweet, but yeah, I want to present that up front here, and the rest of the cabinet I'll just put the massive amounts of alcohol we have otherwise. To defend myself, I should say, I almost bought nothing of this. We got tons of this as gifts, and yeah, it's gonna last. It already lasted us years, and it's gonna last us years, if not decades. But yeah, we don't want to throw it away, and so let's fill this up.